Landing pages, one of the most overlooked but crucially important elements of a lead generation strategy. If you're running ads, chances are you've been sending your traffic to your website, or you've been sending traffic to your Instagram DMs or Facebook Messenger, or you've been sending it to instant lead forms. Okay, now I'm not here to tell you which strategies are the best and which are the worst, because ultimately that depends on the needs of the business as well as the resources at their disposal and if they have the systems and processes in place to effectively manage that strategy. However, the one strategy that I see that can be widely applicable to clinics at various stages of growth, from one person shows to 10-person clinics with multiple locations, etc., is landing pages. I feel the reason most clinics don't leverage landing pages effectively is because it involves a bit of technical know-how to build and it takes quite a bit of time to build as well. Now, I speak with a lot of clinic owners and a lot of marketers that believe landing pages is all about aesthetics. The better it looks, the better it performs, right? Well, that's not the case. The truth is, design is one piece of the puzzle, okay? And it's arguably not even the most important piece of the puzzle. Patients don't book because your page looks nice. Patients book because your page makes them feel understood. Your page builds trust with them, okay? Your page sets their expectations, or your page gets them excited about the results that you can provide for them, okay? So you got to stop focusing on design. Design comes after. The first thing you got to focus on is psychology. So by the end of this video, you're going to understand the psychological elements to a high converting landing page. I also do want to share some tidbits around design, okay? But psychology first, design second. I have a specific landing page that I want to break down and outline the key elements that contribute to it being high converting. But in order to give that context and meaning, I want to share the stats of that landing page. You can see that this landing page converts at 10%, which means 1 in every 10 unique visitors that land on that page end up submitting an inquiry. And then the next page, which is the booking page, has a conversion rate of nearly 40%, which means out of those 1 out of 10, 4 out of the following 10 then go ahead to just book the consultation without ever speaking to someone over the phone or through text messaging. So this page converts leads at 10% and it converts appointments at 40%, okay? This is what's called the hero section. The hero section is the most important section on your entire landing page because it is the first thing that people see and people will make an impression of. It makes or breaks the experience and will be the deciding factor whether someone will submit their inquiry then and there, whether they'll continue scrolling to keep learning, or whether they'll just bounce off your page altogether. So there's a few successful elements on this hero section that I want to share. Before I do that, I want you to keep an eye on the design elements of this page. Design comes next, psychology comes first, design next, but I want you to keep an eye on the consistency of the design elements and the branding, whether that's from the fonts that are used, the font sizes, font colors, font weights, okay? You have to remember that when people land on a website or a landing page, they're going to be skimming through the website, trying to find information that is immediately engaging or applicable to them, okay? Not everybody reads every single word of a landing page. In fact, very, very few do. But when you have consistent fonts, consistent font sizes, font weights, font colors, and branding elements, you can help guide those skimmers' eyeline and signpost where they should look in order to gather that information that they're actually looking for. Okay, but let's hop into the elements. The first element that you'll see there is what I call an eyebrow. It is an attention-grabbing statement that signposts if this statement is applicable or relevant to you, then you are in the right place. It basically just addresses a pressing question or concern relevant to the audience, okay? Moving down from the eyebrow is the headline. The headline is the most important element on your entire landing page, particularly within the hero section. And I see two key mistakes with headlines. And that is they are dreadfully boring, just generic and broad, or they're trying to be too clever, so they're very vague, okay? So a good headline is a hook. It must hook the person in and prioritize clarity, specificity, emotional appeal, urgency, and relevancy. Okay, so I like to build these using a framework. Okay, the framework that I use is, a specific aspirational outcome in a time frame. Here's a unique selling proposition or key feature, and here's a qualifier or a proof point. So how that actually translates into a headline is look up to 5 years younger in 7 days, medical grade skin tightening, just one treatment. Okay, that prioritizes clarity, specificity, emotional appeal, urgency, and relevance. Okay, next on from the headline is the subheading. Now the subheading provides additional context and details to the heading so that you don't provide so much text within your headline. Okay, so the subheading expands on this headline to provide additional details and reinforce the benefits of whatever treatment or service it is that your landing page is promoting. Okay. Next on from the subheading, we have the bullet points. Now, bullet points, you can get a little bit creative of, okay? You can either outline the components of your offer, you can address common objections, you can outline your key differentiators, okay? There's a few different ways to go about this, okay? And there's no right or wrong way, and you can test which tends to perform better. I like to then include what I call a friction remover under my call to action. The friction remover is what it says on the tin. It removes friction from them taking the action we want them to take. So it just basically reassures them, okay? So you can include a guarantee, you can include like social proof, you can include other reassurance elements, just to say that basically this is the next logical step, but don't worry, it's like no obligation, doesn't take long, blah, blah, blah. It reduces the friction and just makes it clear that this next step is very easy to take and there's no cost of taking this next step, okay? Everything below the fold then is very important also. So I like to start by immediately slapping social proof there, expanding on the social proof rather than just outlining how many reviews you have and your rating. I like to actually include the Google reviews or the Trustpilot reviews because ultimately people like to read other people's experiences with a clinic or treatment before actually committing to it themselves, okay? So the first thing I want them to see is those really positive reviews. Then I like to outline the transformation stories. These are the before and after images, and I like to create a gallery out of these. And instead of just having side-by-side pictures where your eyes have to dart back and forth between the two to see the difference and compare the difference between them, I like to include a dynamic and more engaging kind of slider that people can slide themselves, and it's a lot easier to actually compare those before and after results as well. You can also include like a case description that talks specifically about that case. So if people see, okay, I have crow's feet, I want to read more about this person's experience, you can do that, okay? Then the next section is basically the how it works or our process section. It's basically just outlining simply the 1, 2, 3 step process from where you are now to where you want to be. It just makes that simple and clearly outlines what to expect, okay? I like to improve this a little bit more by also strategically placing some testimonials or Google reviews in this as well. So you'll notice that each of these steps also include a snippet from a testimonial or a Google review. And I find that this helps to just further build more trust with the audience, okay? Then the next section is benefits, which is self-explanatory. I don't know if I need to go into details about that, but the key thing that I do want to talk about here is benefits always have to be outcome oriented, okay? You need to talk about like the outcome, the desirable outcome that the person is interested in and why they should care about that, okay? So you need to have that emotionally compelling language rather than just having it very kind of matter of fact and kind of black and white. When we scroll a bit further, this is what I call a pattern disruptor. And you can see it stands out from the rest of the page. And it's basically the rest of the page, but just really condensed. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stop those skimmers from scrolling and just catch their attention. So this re-emphasizes the key components of the offer, the benefits of the treatment. It has that social proof, so establishes that trust. It contains the friction remover as well, and the call to action. So everything condensed. When we scroll down a bit further, we have the frequently asked questions. I like to categorize these so people can actually find the specific question that's relevant to them rather than trying to read through 20 questions, just trying to find the one that is actually relevant to them, okay? And I hope you notice, I hope you've been keeping track on the consistency with the branding and design elements. And it makes it very easy to follow along and you know exactly what is a headline, what is a subheading, what is body content, and it's just very pleasing on the eye and you know exactly how to kind of guide their focus. Okay, so that is all of the components of a high converting landing page. In the future, I'm going to make a video of me building a landing page from scratch. So stay tuned for that one. If you like this and found it beneficial, give us a like, give us a comment, give us a share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.